Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. We are continuing our series for the updated 25-26 Code.org Unit 2 Web Development Curriculum, and we are looking at Lesson 3, Headings and Lists. Last time we were here, we were working on the Intro to HTML lesson. We're moving right along. Exploring heading tags and making lists. Let's go! All right. HTML defines 6 levels of headings, and these heading elements are H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. The H1 element is the highest or most important level, and the H6 element is the least important. These different heading levels help to communicate the organization and hierarchy of the content on a page. For example, headings with an equal or higher ranking indicate the start of a new section, and headings with a lower rank indicate the start of a new subsection that is part of a higher ranked section. That's a mouthful. Do this. It says turn on the inspector tool on step 1. It is on. Hover over each of the bold headings on the web page to find out which heading size was used. All right, so this first heading where it says types of HTML headings, they used an H1. These are just paragraphs, as you can tell from the P's in the workspace. The largest heading is the H1, and then H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. And it looks like H5 and H6 while they're bold, they're actually smaller than the paragraphs. That's interesting. So in talking about when I would use these, this is obvious. H1 tag is obviously the main heading or top heading for your page. And then following that, the H2, H3, and so on are the subheadings you'd see further down the page. So more on headings on Bubble 2. So far you've organized your content into paragraphs. Another way HTML allows you to organize your code is by using headings. A heading is a short piece of text that goes to the top of a section of content like a title. So it just helps you organize your page, makes everything a little bit easier for the user's eyes to follow. Do this. Find the headings on the web page below and use the inspector tool to see the code that makes them. Okay. Make sure you and your partner agree on what the tags do. And then step 3, change the code so that drawing and 2 years match the headings on the rest of the page. So up here, my hobbies is an H1 tag, as you can see on line 6 in the workspace. Soccer in H2, 5 years in H4, baking is an H2, 10 years is an H4. So we've established a pattern here. So drawing, instead of a paragraph tag over here on line 24, needs to match baking and soccer and should be an H2 tag. So let's go ahead and change that. And all we have to do is take out the P there. Now drawing is the same size as baking and soccer, so it's a good size. And now 2 years is also a paragraph over there on line 25 in the workspace. So we're going to change that to match 10 years and 5 years, and those are H4s, so that's what we'll put here. Keeping the organization of the original concept. All right, finish and continue to Bubble 3. Headings can come in different sizes. In this page, there are 6 different sized headings, but they're all mixed up. Can you and your partner figure out how to fix them? Do this. Use the inspector tool to figure out what makes the headings different sizes. All right, so I don't think we really need to use the inspector tool. We can tell now, after 2 bubbles of looking at headings and their sizes, how this is working. Make sure and then step 3, change the tag so that the headings are in order from biggest to smallest. Okay, so we're going to change this H3 on line 6 to an H1. Just moving my cursor over there with my arrow keys. And then we're just going to keep this pattern moving down. Line 7, line 8 will be an H3. So basically, as we go down, we're counting up. H4. And just matching those start tags and end tags. This one's already an H5. so we don't need to do anything there. And then line 11 is an H6. So now that looks nice, and it matches the sample up here: biggest, big, medium, bigs, medium, small, small, and smallest. Very good. Let's head on over to bubble 4. Oh, yes, I am in the teacher version of this, so obviously you can see the answer there, but looking at the code below and predict how the headings will be displayed, choose from one of the options. So let me actually look at this as a student. There we go. Look at the code below, predict how the headings will be displayed. So okay, so we're looking at this code here and what it should create this side. So bacon should be the largest, waffles should be the smallest, and eggs should be an H3. I think it's going to be B. That is the correct answer. Very good. And we get that lovely sound effect. Thank you, code.org, for that. Now let's move on to bubble 5. Unordered lists. There are 2 types of lists in HTML. Excuse me just a moment. I'm going to hit pause on the recording. I am just a little bit under the weather today. I don't know if you can hear that in my voice. Goodness. So we might be taking little pause breaks here and there as we work our way through this. Unordered lists. So there are 2 types of lists in HTML: ordered and unordered lists. An unordered list is just a set of bulleted items. So if you're familiar with taking notes in any of your classes, and you've taken bulleted notes, meaning that you're putting little circles as you take the notes, with kind of making like a heading, subheading, almost the same kind of style as headings, but you're working on bulleted lists. There are also ordered lists that have numbers, and I'm sure we'll be working on that on a separate bubble. An unordered list element has the tag UL, which stands for unordered list, and this is an abbreviation for unordered list. Why do I do this to myself? Each item in the list is marked by a list item element, LI. This is an abbreviation for list item. The list item element is a child element, which means that it goes inside of its parent element, the unordered list. Take a look at how the given code below creates an unordered list. Pay special attention to the white space and indentation of the list item tag. Do this. It says under step 1, look at how the unordered list and list item tags are used to create an unordered list. And then for step 2, use the unordered list and list item tags to create your own dessert list. Okay, so obviously we have an H2 right here on line 6 that's making this breakfast foods over here in the preview area, this heading, and then we have our unordered list or start unordered list tag on line 8, along with the list items, cereal, eggs, and waffles, lines 9 through 11, and then the unordered list or end unordered list tag on line 12. Line 14, we have the H2 tag desserts. Okay, so we're going to move over here, make some space, and we're going to kind of go by what we see on lines 8 through 12 to make our own unordered list for desserts. And for each item I want on my list, I need to have list item tags. So let's go ahead and type this out. For my first dessert, I'm going to say cheesecake. We got to end that list item tag. And then what's another good dessert? Let's see, chocolate lava cake is really nice. End that list tag. And then finally, we'll have another item here. And notice it's not showing up over here yet because I don't have my end unordered list tag there. If you wanted to, you could go ahead and put that and unordered list tag, and then things would be showing up as you type it in. Finally, what's another good dessert? Key lime pie. I like where my head's at today with these desserts. All right, there's my list items, but I still need to put in my end unordered list tag there, and you can see over here it immediately popped up. If it didn't immediately pop up for you, you can always hit refresh and save over here above the preview area, and that usually fixes the issue. Let's go to bubble 6. This time we're working on ordered lists as predicted. An ordered list is like an unordered bulleted list, but it has numbers. Just use the ordered list tag instead of the unordered list tag. This is an abbreviation for ordered list. Just like your bulleted list, each item in the ordered or numbered list is marked by a list item element, the list item tag. This is an abbreviation for list item. This list item element is a child element, which means that it goes inside of its parent element, same as the unordered list. So this time, we just have one step to go through. Step 1 says use the ordered list and list tags to structure this content into an ordered list. So as of right now, turning my inspector tool on, we have on line 6 an H2 tag, top 5 reasons a turtle is the best pet. And then down here we have the reasons or the list items, but they didn't put any HTML tag to structure it over on the actual website. So I'm going to create some white space so that I can put my ordered list tag here. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put my end ordered list tag down here at the bottom, and then just go through here and put in these list item tags. And as I do it, you'll see, or you should see, the website updating over there on the right hand side, and you'll see that it's updating with numbers, and those numbers are going to be in order, just like it suggests, calling itself an ordered list tag, right? All right, so it just takes a minute. You're just kind of repeating the same steps over and over again, making sure you're getting your start list tag and end list tag on each list item line. And then there we go. Our website looks just how we want it to. Let's move on, clicking finish here. And now we're on bubble 7. We're working on comments this time. Okay, HTML comments are an essential aspect of web design and development. They are used to add notes and explanations to your code, making it easier for yourself and others to understand and maintain. By using comments correctly, you can ensure that your code is well organized and easy to understand, leading to a smoother development process. Adding a comment in HTML is done by using I'm not sure what those tags are called. Anything that is placed between these tags will not be displayed in the browser, but will be visible when looking at the source code. So this is new coding for me, actually. And then you see this example here. So it's the less than symbol, an exclamation point, and then 2 hyphens. And then I guess in the middle of that, you would put whatever your comment may be. And then it's followed by 2 hyphens and the greater than symbol. So we're going to use a comment tag to comment out the information about the content. And where's that? Let's see. Okay, so I'm assuming where it says page title, introduction, bulleted list, final statement, we need to use these comment tags. Okay, so let's see how that works. So for introduction, once I put this in here, it should make... Oh, wow. Okay, so everything grayed out. I probably don't want to do that. Okay, cool. So that made the word introduction disappear over here. Okay, now we want to make bulleted list of why to use comments go away. So again, it's less than symbol, exclamation point, 2 hyphens, hyphen, hyphen, greater than symbol. And then as you can see in the workspace, it actually grays out the comment as it makes it disappear over here. And then we have the final statement down here. So let's turn that into a comment. There we go. And I think that's everything. Yep, that's everything that wasn't wrapped in a paragraph tag, list tag, and so on. Cool. Very good. And then obviously you can see on line 18, line 16, there are these page breaks as well. I'm sure we'll learn how to use that later. Let's move on. Bubble 8. And it looks like we have some practice bubbles to get through, A through D. Let's go ahead and jump into A, debug the missing paragraph. All right, so someone has submitted a bug report on this webpage. Can you fix the bug? And we've got a lot of pink code, so I see why they issued that bug report. It says what they expected to happen is 3 paragraphs, one each on dogs, turtles, and birds. What happened instead is the turtle paragraph is missing. Okay, so let's find the bug. Let's look for pink code, and there's lots of it, and see. Oh, okay. Immediately on line 14 right here, you can see that they accidentally put a period instead of the greater than symbol. And now our turtles paragraph is showing up on our website. So I believe that's all we needed to do there. So let's finish. Let's go to B, debug the pink tags. On this one, the bug report says they expected the code should not be pink, but what happened instead is there's pink code near lines 8, 13, and 14. So let's fix the problem that might be causing this bug. Let's see. Okay, so on line 10 here, they didn't create their comment tag correctly. And that created more pink code. Let's see. Oh, look. This paragraph tag is messed up on line 9, so let's fix that. Just putting that P there, they forgot. That got rid of a lot of pink code. Let's see what's happening down here. Oh, okay. So, they started this with an endless tag. So we'll take out that slash and fix the end list down there. And we still have pink code here. Okay, it just looks like they did the same as that other person. Let's fix that end paragraph on line 17. And that got rid of all of the pink code, fixed all the bugs, website's looking great. Let's finish and head on to debug the subheadings. C. On this one, they expected that the code should not be pink, but there's pink code near line 12 and line 14. And again, if you see pink code, that means that there is a bug somewhere that you'll need to find and fix. So on this one, line 14, they started this with an H3 tag and ended it with H2. Let's see what they wanted over here. So H3. Excuse me. So it looks like this should be in H3. And then down on line 16, they did the same thing. Needs to be in H3 again. All right, that fixes the subheadings for this website. Let's move on to D, add larger heading. All right, so add a larger heading and a list. Here's a great article on modes of transportation. Can you add a catchy large heading and title it? Step 1, we're going to add a larger heading at the top of the article. So right under this comment where we have page title on line 6, on line 7 I'm going to put an H1 heading, and we'll just keep it simple and say modes of transportation. And we'll end that H1 tag. There we go. And then there's a bonus challenge. Can you turn the subheadings into a bulleted list? Probably. Let's see. subheadings into a bulleted list. So right here, I'm going to put my cursor at the end of this comment tag on line 10, enter down to create some space. It wants a bulleted list, so we're going to use UL, and then it looks like we can end that right here. So we'll end UL on line 17. And let's see. So I'm going to actually, let's see if putting a list tag on the outside of these works. Each of these H2s. Oh, sweet. Yep, it adds a bullet there. So let's just do that again for the other two subheadings. Very good. It did it for C. And then let's get a bullet there for air. So we're just adding these list tags outside of the H2 tags. That's neat. Okay, cool. Let's finish. We've done all of the practice bubbles. So we can click finish here and move on to bubble 9. Bubble 9 is our assessment bubble. Headings, paragraphs, and lists. The author of this page added in a lot of content but did not think about structure. All of the text is mixed or mashed together. Step 1, look through the content and decide what you think the best structure should be. Add comments to the code to clarify the structure. Use heading, paragraph, and list tags to code the structure into the page. Okay, so immediately up here, let's turn my pets on line 6 into an H1. So it's the main heading for the page, the largest heading. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, H1, not list. I got in a habit. Okay, so my pets updated, and then I have 3 different pets. Let's see. Maybe we'll do like an H3 for this one as a subheading. There we go. And then we need probably an unordered list, since we're not playing favorites with our pets. We're simply trying to organize our website into something that looks better for our end users who will be looking at our websites after we've posted them. So just follow along. So Lula gets a list tag, Slowpoke gets a list tag, and Fluffy, of course, you get a list tag too, Fluffy. Why wouldn't you? Okay. And then we'll turn this into a paragraph. Making sure to remember that each tag needs to be ended with that slash. Lula, let's turn Lula down here into an H4 maybe, or let's do an H2 for this, actually. Make it a little more succinct. And then, yeah, H3 for Lula. We'll do an H3 for Slowpoke. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it for Fluffy as well. Get that end H3. There we go. And then we're going to make these paragraphs. Line 18, line 22 will be a paragraph, and line 26 as well once we get to it. There we go, and the website's looking great. All right, let's finish there and head on over to the next bubble. This one is a reflection, so I'll leave that to you. You're going to have your own ideas about how you think you did, how you completed this assessment, and what was easy about the task and what was most challenging. So just type all that out there. Make sure you use complete sentences, and let's move on to the challenges on bubble 10. Or sorry, on bubble 11, goodness. All right, web poetry, extra code, line break. Let's jump into bubble A here. In sub situations like a poem or a list, you'll want to start a new line inside the same paragraph, like you might do in poetry. You can use the line break tag for this. Okay, so read the HTML and look for where the line break code is used to separate the lines in the poem. So where it is used, okay, and then add 2 more line breaks to separate out the other lines in the poem. Okay, so where is a break tag used right now? We have an H1 tag on line 8. Okay, my web poem is nearly complete. Here's a break tag, here's a break tag. Okay, so it looks like maybe we just need to put break tags at the end of each line. And that will separate it out. And then we've got our start paragraph and end paragraph tags, line 11 and line 15 at the beginning and end of that poem. Okay, cool. Simple enough. So I guess the break tag just automatically creates a new line. Neat. Okay. Extra code horizontal rule, jumping into bubble B. Excuse me again. Extra code horizontal rule. In some situations, you'll want to insert a horizontal line or rule to break up themes in your page. You can use the horizontal rule tag for this. Read the HTML and look for where the HR or horizontal rule code is used to add a horizontal rule in the web page. And then we're going to add more horizontal rules to break up the page by theme. Okay. So it looks like we want to add horizontal line breaks between each subsection. So we have deserts, grasslands, and ocean. Let's separate these out. So there should be a subheading for some species. Let's use the inspector tool. Okay, perfect. All right, so on line 15, we have an H4 tag. I'm going to put a horizontal rule tag right here, and you can see how that was used up on line 10. So let's go ahead, just HR. That adds the horizontal rule there. And let's do the same right below line 19. I like these horizontal rule tags. They're short and simple. And then I would say that's all we need, but just in case you wanted to, we can add a horizontal rule break below ocean in the event that you wanted to add another biome, right? Okay, let's finish there. Breezing right through these. This and that, extra code, special character, ampersand. The ampersand character can cause errors in your HTML code because it is actually used for other special characters like less than symbols. And that's encoded as ampersand LT semicolon, and double quotation marks is encoded as ampersand QUOT semicolon. I guess that's short for quote. And then to use the ampersand character in a paragraph correctly, you need the special code. Okay. Ampersand amp semicolon. Yes, you need an ampersand to encode an ampersand. That's funny. In this activity, you'll make up a list of some of your favorite things and practice using ampersands. Okay. Some of my favorite things. All right. So read the HTML and look for where the ampersand code is used correctly. So right now, we have on line 2, this and that. That's creating this H2 heading. On line 9, We have a paragraph tag, favorite store, H&M, favorite TV show, Lock and Key, favorite candy. So we'll go through this, and it may not necessarily be my actual favorite candy, but the obvious thing to put here would be M and M's, right? So let's use that ampersand. The ampersand is actually going to be Shift 7 on your keyboard, or most keyboards. Amp, semicolon, M&M's. There we go for favorite candy. On line 13, favorite food combination. Say like ham and cheese. And again, right, oh, we've got to fix this up on line 10. Let's go ahead and do that. And fix our code that we started here. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip of water. And then school colors. School colors for the school where I teach are black and gold. And then favorite movie. Oh, goodness. Trying to think of a movie that would use an and. Ooh. Milo and Otis, a classic. There we go. And now we've... Uh-oh. What's going on? Oh, did I forget to type cheese? I could have sworn I typed cheese. Okay. Let's get that spaced out a little bit. Okay. I think that's good then. Let's finish. And then we've got 3 different options here, D, E, and F. Each one, favorite books, favorite movies, favorite games. Let's jump into favorite games. You could do all 3, or just 1, or 2 of the 3, whatever you prefer. Okay, now that you have learned how to create HTML headings, lists, and code special characters, you can put your skills to the test. Do this. Create a web page about your favorite games. For example, this web page could include information about your favorite type of games, and then list your top 3 favorites. You can even do a favorite games and use the horizontal rule tag to separate the descriptions of each one. You may not be able to create a perfect web page just yet, but you can develop a prototype that shows your general idea. Good stuff. So let's start with an H1 tag. And we'll end that H1. And we're already getting our website up and going here. Mr. Decker's favorite video games. Let's put in like 3 subsections. So RPGs. And then we'll have, I'm just creating some space here to work with. We'll do platformers. And what's another good video game genre? Let's see. Let's just do RPGs and platformers. And then we'll turn these into H3s. Whoop. Gotta end that H3 tag. And an H3 here as well. And then inside of each of these subcategories for video games, we are going to create lists of 3 items. All right. So here, and I'm going to make these, and while it does say favorites, it's hard to say which one is my absolute favorite. So I'm going to use an unordered list. Go ahead and get the unordered list. Whoops. Unordered list tags created, and then I need my list. So first, under RPGs, I'll say Baldur's Gate 3, fantastic game. Actually, fairly recent in the scope of things that you'll see here. And then an older one from the 1990s, we'll go with Chrono Trigger. And then our third list item for RPGs, just off the top of my head, we'll say Dragon Quest 11. And I'm going to use Roman numerals for that. There we go. And then down here for platformers, let's create some space to separate that out a little bit better for my brain. And my favorite platformers, we've got Super Mario World, Endless Tag. That one I'm sentimental about. It was the first video game back in the early 90s that I actually completed by myself. So I was so proud. I wrote a letter to my brother to celebrate. It was a whole thing. All right. Super Mario World from the Super Nintendo days. What else is another great platformer? Donkey Kong Country is fantastic. That entire series I've played and beaten over the years on every platform that it's been on. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do is put my start unordered list and end unordered list tags for this section. Okay. And then finally, we'll throw in, let's see, Spyro is another really good one. A 3D platformer. There we go. And we've got our video games website created. You know, you can do way more with this if you wanted to add more subgenres, whatever. Really go for it. This is what I'm going to do. I didn't add a paragraph tag, so maybe I should up here. Let's do that. We'll say here is a short list of some of my favorite video games from over the decades. And that's all we're going to say there. Short and simple, but just wanted to demonstrate that we can throw a paragraph tag in here. And then I'm also going to put a horizontal rule right here as a page break or a line break. Very good. All right, that's it from me. We'll click finish there. It'll spit us back out up here. If you wanted to, again, you can jump into any one of these to create your own sort of website. Your favorite books, your favorite movies. I chose your favorite games, whatever floats your boat. That's it from me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully I feel better by the time I make another one of these and my voice won't be so croaky. Bye, guys.